Good morning and welcome to Daily Disciplines. Today I want to share with you some thoughts from a little book that is entitled How to Be an Up Person in a Down World. As we continue our thoughts about daily doing something to move forward in our life, to be more of what we are created to be, the emphasis that I want to make today and for the next few days is that we ought to be continually reading, because you never know what small kernel of truth or inspiration or sometimes challenge will come up in that which you read. Once in a while you run across a book where somebody has taken those challenging little thoughts and put them all in one place. There is not an author for this book because it is simply a book of quotes. And so I have a couple of them for you today, and I'll just make a few comments on them as we move forward. The first one comes from a man by the name of Roderick Thorpe. I don't know that you've ever heard of him before, except right now. But he says this: we have to learn to be our own best friends because we fall too easily into the trap of being our own worst enemies. You know, we've been talking about having a great new year, and we talked a little bit about the fact that this is the point in the month when the experts tell us that we begin to go back on those New Year's resolutions that so many have. And we didn't think of ours as New Year's resolutions, but they are nevertheless some new goals and dreams and visions and hopes for the new year. And sometimes as we begin to come to that point where they're difficult to keep up with, we begin to get down on ourselves and we become our own worst enemies. And then Martin Luther King gave us a thought a number of years ago, and it fits in with what we're talking about right now. He said the ultimate measure of a person is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. So in those times of challenge, difficulty, and sometimes even controversy that we've talked about, that sometimes our choices for the new year will bring us into controversy with those that we've been running with, and they just don't quite understand why we're so focused and why we continue to move forward with personal growth. And so sometimes controversy, sometimes challenge. And the true measure of who we are comes out most of all in those times. So I want to learn to be my own best friend. A best friend will encourage you in times of difficulty. A best friend will help you to feel better about yourself. There are people in my life, as I'm sure there are in your life, that every time I'm around them, when I leave, I feel better. Not because I left, but because I was with them. And because of the way they made me feel about myself while we were together. So today, as you think about you, determine to be your own best friend in good times and in times of challenge. Just by way of announcement of a special feature coming on Daily Disciplines, we'll begin in the very near future and from time to time over the course of the next months to present a special podcast on the weekend that will deal with some difficult times, challenging times of our life. What do you do when you're disappointed? What do you do when you're discouraged? What do you do when you're a little depressed? Now, this weekend podcast will be a scriptural basis. So if Scripture is not important to you, then obviously you might not want to tune in on the weekend. But for those of you to whom it is important, or for those of you who'd like to find out if it's important, keep an eye open, an ear open, listening for the DLX Daily Disciplines special edition coming soon. Have a great day, and we'll talk soon.